we're going to bring on our headliner guest of the day. We've had a couple of people who have warmed up the crowd, as it were, and we're bringing our headlining guest.
This is like when Radiohead comes on Coachella after the opening bands.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, David Feldman of the David Feldman Show.
Jesus.
Hello.
Hi.
We're just getting a picture of you today? Is that what's happening?
You're doing a show today?
Yeah, we are. You're on the show.
I thought you were going to cancel.
Why would we cancel?
I guess you're going for that, like after 9/11 when Letterman came back and Jon Stewart came. So you're going for this big, you're going to use the show to be the empath in chief. Like we're going to all suffer together. Is that what you're? I'm just surprised you did the show because
Are you good, David?
No, I'm not. And I'm not good. And I'm surprised you guys are doing a show and acting.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Meat Loaf?
After what?
Meat Loaf.
What about Meat Loaf? The singer Meat Loaf.
Meat Loaf passed away last night, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a generational thing. I know you guys might be a little younger than I am, but Meat Loaf?
I mean, much, I think. I think it's much.
I lost my virginity listening to Meat Loaf.
Paradise
I don't think you did. I think
Paradise by the Dashboard Light? No?
You're confused. The song was about losing the virginity. You didn't lose the virginity.
No, not to the song. He stood over my bed and said, "Take your pants off."
Oh, God.
Now kiss her. I listened
Is that
to
true?
Yes, Meat Loaf stood over my bed and taught me how to deflower myself. And this is very upsetting. And it was unexpected. Did you know it was from COVID? You know he died from COVID?
I did not know that. Is that the case?
So should we cancel the show? This is a tragedy. Look, he was against the mask mandate, big Trump supporter. And to learn that he died from COVID, this one hits hard and should serve as a wake-up call to all of us, because this is a man, 75 years old, maybe 200 pounds overweight, not much. And he didn't get the vaccine. And it just reminds you of the randomness of COVID. It can kill anyone. Even someone in his mid-70s who is 200 pounds, 300 pounds overweight and didn't get vaccinated. So
he probably should have gotten vaccinated.
There you go. I don't want to politicize the death of that's what you do on this show. I get it, but it's not right at this time.
I don't think I'm not making a political statement at all. I'm making a medical statement. There's a tremendous amount of evidence. Reports came out today.
Are you a doctor?
I'm not a doctor, no.
So how do you know that Meat Loaf didn't have was allergic to masks or shots? How do you know?
He might have been. I'm not.
There you go. So the man is dead, and you have that smirk on your face, like, oh, he didn't get vaccinated, and he's 75, and maybe he should have dropped 400 or 600 pounds, and he didn't take care. Like it's his fault. Like it's some kind of personal responsibility. Instead of using your show to remind everybody of the randomness of COVID, it can strike anyone. You never know who it's going to strike and who it's going to kill. And I just can't believe Meat Loaf is dead. I just.
Well, listen, I'm sorry that you're taking this so hard. 75 years is a decent run for a guy like Meat Loaf. Not literally run, but
God, I can't believe you. And you're smiling. Fine. You know what?
I'm sorry. Listen, but my point about the vaccination is not whether Meat Loaf was allergic to masks or the vaccination. I don't know that he was one way or another. But in general, we know from the CDC that people who have been vaccinated and particularly boosted are far, far less likely to be hospitalized and to die from from COVID in general, because it includes Omicron.
Okay. That's how you want to politicize.
What is political about that?
Because he did not believe in masks. He was a Trump supporter and he was against the vaccine mandates. When a man dies from COVID, you don't bring up the fact that he didn't get vaccinated. That politicizes the issue. And that's
David, I'm pretty sure you brought that up.
Well, I mean, we lost. Hey, I'm picking up. It's like I'm pro science. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay.
We said you were against science.
Well, yeah, it's implying that I'm interested in this stuff, and there are other centers for disease control other than the monopolistic CDC that doesn't compete with any other organization.
You're for free market disease control.
Hold on, wait. You're saying there's multiple centers of disease control.
Well, it's plural. There's an S. There's an S. It's the Centers for Disease Control, not the Center for Disease Control. How can we only hear from what?
I'm pretty sure it's the center.
No. See, you don't do your own research. It's the Centers for Disease Control. Did I win the argument?
Yeah, you win, David.
I see. Now this is because I do my own research, and it's the Centers for Disease Control. But we only hear from while child. Right. Yeah, how come we only hear from one center?
Well, I think it is. You're hearing from all the centers.
No, you're hearing from one center, not all the centers.
I think when the CDC says it's all the centers in that name.
Who do you hear? You hear that Dr. Walsh, whatever her name is, not anybody else.
Walensky?
Well, yes.
She's the head of the Centers for Disease Control.
So there's no other heads of why aren't there heads of the Centers for Disease Control?
Well, there may be heads of the specific centers, but the centers as an agency there's one leader of it.
All right, fine, whatever. I'm just saying we lost a Meat Loaf today, and let's just use his death to remind everybody of the randomness of COVID.
What do you mean? Keep saying the randomness of COVID.
And strike anybody, and that we should just, make the phone call the people you love, and remind them that you love them, because you never know when COVID is going to strike. If it could hit a 75-year-old man who, 2,000, 3,000 pounds overweight, didn't get vaccinated, doesn't wear a mask. If it can hit somebody like Meat Loaf, it can hit any one of us. Hug your children. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, look, David, I agree that we are all susceptible, but the susceptibility can be mitigated. That's all I'm saying, by mask wearing and by vaccination and booster. You can't eliminate it.
You're going to politicize his death. You're going to use his death now to do something really dirty.
How is it not? Let me ask you this. How is it not political for you to say it could strike anybody, but it is political for me to say it could strike anybody, but here's a way of minimizing your risk?
Because telling people to love one another isn't political. That's human decency. But to pass judgment on a man who, at the age of 75, who was maybe 6 or 10,000 pounds overweight and didn't get vaccinated, You are politicizing that. Your life is random, and I'm I'm pro-vaccine. I got them all, so don't.
I don't doubt that for a moment.
I got the Moderna in my right arm, Pfizer in my left. I got the Johnson & Johnson in my butt, and I'm getting.
Sounds like a special request.
I don't get it.
Well, I just never heard of anybody getting any of these vaccinations in their butt.
Well, it's the scientific method. I do the Moderna in my right arm. I do the Pfizer in my left. I don't have another arm.
What the scientific method means. That is what the scientific method is.
If you get COVID in your ass, the Johnson & Johnson doesn't work as well as the other ones.
Right.
Oh, I guess, is that what you're doing? You're trying to find out if you can localize the COVID infection?
I feel like you guys are picking on me for being pro-science.
Did you get COVID in your ass, David?
Excuse me. We really need to talk about my balloon knot in front of. I mean, it's like the afternoon, and this is. I thought this was a highbrow show. I came here. I'm a child of the Enlightenment, and
literally.
Yeah, and so I can look at my left arm and see how the Pfizer is doing, and the right arm to see how the Moderna is doing, and I squat over a mirror to see how Johnson & Johnson is doing. That's the scientific method, Sam. I'm pro.
Let me tell you how long I think it's going to take for me to get over that image.
Of what? Me looking at
of you squatting over a mirror. I think it's possible that I will see grandchildren before I can get that image out of my head.
I take a picture. I squat over my mirror, and we take a picture. My lady says, "Say cheese," and
in terms of
I smile.
How you're going to pucker, or
no? She takes a picture of my balloon knot, and she says, "Say cheese." Can we? I'm here to talk about a tragedy and the scientific
full circle, right? I mean, You at one point had Meat Loaf looking over you.
Oh my God! Is this what you're doing now on the show?
I don't know.
You're laughing. You laugh at the dead.
I'm not laughing.
You laugh at the dead. You laugh at the dead. The sudden death. We're all shocked. Meat Loaf, 75 years old, unvaccinated. Maybe
several thousand,
14,000, 20,000 pounds overweight,
right?
Suddenly dies from COVID, and you think it's funny. You politicize it the same way you politicized Martin Luther King's holiday, which I saw, and I've heard you talk about.
How did you see me politicize? Well, first, what does that mean to politicize? Well, who was Martin Luther King?
Who was, first of all, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Who was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Who was
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Who was
the Reverend Dr.
Yes.
Martin.
Correct.
That was his wife. No, Coretta. I'm sorry, I misheard. I was for the holiday, but
we mean
I didn't want
the holiday.
I thought he should have had a holiday, but I said,
Why?
don't.
Why?
Because it's Dr. Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. And he deserves a holiday. And
why did he deserve a holiday?
Because he's a great American. And
what does that mean? He's a great American.
Oh my God! Do I have to? What do you mean? What? You're politicizing by asking that question. You are politicizing the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Am I violating his HIPAA rights?
You're violating the holiday. You don't discuss Dr. Martin Luther King in ways that are divisive. You're bringing up that he was against the Vietnam War, that he was a pro-labor activist, for example, and that he wanted blacks and whites to unite in a worldwide struggle to end poverty. That's not how you honor his memory. You don't bring up the fact that he was leading a poor people's campaign. That's divisive. You politicize him by reminding people of who he really is. It's better to let people see whatever they want to see in Dr. King. That's how you honor his memory.
Wait. I feel like you just said two things that may contradict a little bit. You said you celebrate who he is, and then you say, but let everybody have their own idea of who he is.
Choice, freedom. Yes, that's what we do in this country. You see whatever you want in Dr. Martin Luther King. And when I watch your show, getting into his life on the granular level, it's divisive and it politicizes his memory. Tucker Carlson, Tucker Carlson?
Do I know him personally? No.
I don't agree with Tucker Carlson, but I was watching, he said Dr. King would oppose the teaching of critical race theory. And when I heard Tucker say that, I thought, we have come so far as a people where now a white man can see Dr. Martin Luther King and find anything he wants. And for you to say that Dr. King would be in favor of critical race thinking, theory, or if you were to say Dr. King was a proponent of affirmative action, that you're politicizing his memory, and that's not what he wanted.
But David, when Tucker says that he would oppose critical race theory, is that politicizing Martin Luther King?
No, that's how far we've come as a nation, where we can all see. It's like a cloud. You want it to be a cloud. You see Dr. King is a cloud in the sky. What do you see? I see a bunny with 3 ears smoking a Mershon.
It's an Escher painting.
It's whatever you want to see. That's how far we've come as a nation. And again, the Shelby ruling, I was against it. The Roberts Court ruled that, we're not the same way we were in the early 60s. But
rolling back Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, yes, okay.
Yes, I was opposed to that ruling. But when I see Tucker Carlson saying that Dr. King would be against quotas and welfare, I think maybe the Roberts Court is right. Maybe maybe the Civil Rights Act of 64 and 65 worked.
So, and do you still believe that?
Believe what?
Well, Roberts wrote that in 2013.
That we don't need to put states, the old Confederacy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what I do believe is we should not politicize voting. I don't think that I think everyone should vote, but right now it's been politicized, and I find that offensive.
Well, politicized and your definition of politicization seems a little weird to me. I mean, first off, the reason why we honor people is not because they're a good Rorschach test, right? I mean, that would be, then we could just make up a holiday and just say it's, I don't know, Feldman Day. Which Feldman? Doesn't really matter. You choose.
You're flattering me.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm talking about Tom Feldman or Bill Feldman or Mary Feldman.
When you know that I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
Right. But Martin Luther King Day, you forget how hard we struggled for Dr. Martin Luther King Day. You're too young to remember how hard it was to get it, like in Arizona. You have no idea how hard it
was a very long time holdout. Yes.
Yeah, you have no idea the struggle for that holiday. And for you now to politicize it and be divisive.
Why was there a struggle for that holiday?
Because there are only 365 days in a calendar, Sam. Duh.
But why was it hard to get that holiday? Isn't that because
don't take this the wrong way, okay? I'm gonna don't take this the wrong way. You and you Jews with your holidays. Don't take this the wrong way. But you, am I right? Emma, I don't want to get you in the middle of this, but everything's a holiday. The Jews and their holidays, my God. Well, why don't we just go from the Gregorian calendar to just the Sam Seder calendar, where it's 365 days of holiday?
First off, I feel like you have aged like 35 years over the course of that sentence.
I have. I have.
But you should also know that the Hebrew calendar with
here we go. Yeah.
Existed, the Gregorian one.
The what calendar?
The Hebrew calendar.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're in America now. Unpack. No,
that's nothing to do with the Jewish holiday.
Why are you playing the Jewish card now? You know I can't respond to that now. Anything I say now, you're going to take out of context, and I'm going to be accused of Jew baiting you. Jesus Christ! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You could say Jesus Christ. That's fine. Listen, but here's the point: is that we were talking about why it's difficult to get a Martin Luther King holiday.
It was hard, and we struggled for it. And Emma and you are standing on the shoulders of my struggle, and then you use it to politicize it and bring up stuff.
Was it a struggle? That's what I'm asking you.
Because it's hard to get a holiday. It's hard.
Why was that your struggle, David?
Because I believed
aligned against it.
I believed in the holiday, but
Why?
You don't taint his memory with specifics. You don't bring up the fact that he was against the Vietnam War and was a labor activist. That's divisive when you teach that. Then people don't want to celebrate the holiday. Let him be whatever you want him to be. And don't do what the Democrats did, using the holiday to pass a voting rights bill. My God. How to dishonor his memory by politicizing this week, by trying to tie his memory in with voting rights?
I mean, voting rights were a big, big struggle for him.
Voting rights.
Voting rights. Yeah.
And do you think that helps bringing that up? So what did you? So you're saying you've poured over the FBI file on him, and you found out that he was for voting rights, and let's bring that up now.
Well, it's not. That's not. You don't have to pour over the FBI files to know that he was maybe the largest advocate, single individual associated with the push for the Voting Rights Act?
Yeah, because the FBI was tapping his phones, and this is stuff. This is
politicizing it now, David.
No.
Up the FBI.
Why am I bringing up the FBI?
Yeah.
I because you're using the files that they kept on him and violating his privacy.
I think I got you cornered.
What are you talking about?
Why would you talk about things that the evil J. Edgar Hoover dug up on him about voting rights and being a labor organizer and thinking about the least among us. That's not how, that's private stuff. You know, he's got grandchildren who might listen to the show. They don't need to know this stuff. He was a flawed human being, just like every man. We all have compromise.
The flaws are the support for voting rights and the labor activism.
You know, it's compromise. You're saying it's compromise.
Yes, and the FBI had no. The FBI had no
the voting rights. You're saying was compromise.
Yeah, the FBI had no business tapping his phone, you know, taping his hotel. Where, you know, when you get older, you will learn that human beings are flawed. And I have been in hotel rooms.
Oh God.
And I have said things that I didn't want other people to know. And for you now to take what I consider.
Oh, wait. Like what?
What have I said?
Yeah. And was Meat Loaf there?
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Because he was there when I lost my virginity. And
of course. How did you arrange that? How was that arranged? Was the fact that he was there a coincidental to your loss of your
Meat Loaf? Meat Loaf.
Circumstances.
It's Mr. Loaf.
Okay.
Mr. Loaf.
Was Mr. Loaf instrumental in the loss of your virginity, or was he incidental to the loss of your virginity? Just happened to be there.
I went to one of his concerts.
Okay.
And I was a virgin, and I came backstage, and I said, "Mr. Loaf," and he said, "Call me Meat." Okay. Mr. Loaf is my father's name. Call me Meat, and my knees buckled,
right?
And he said, "You look like a virgin." And I said, Yes, I'm 33 years old, and this is one of the things that...
It was also your first concert.
It was my first concert.
Right.
And it was great. And he said, you know, a lot of men have lost their virginity listening to me. We'll get a hotel room. And he took me into a hotel room and helped me lose my virginity. And then I was ready for a woman.